Hi everybody from Southeast Asia and the Middle East. Thank you for joining us on our Google Hangout today. I'm Sally Jones and this is Sally-Anne, and we're here to answer any questions that you have about studying at the University of South Wales. So I'll give you a little bit of background about myself and then I'll pass you over to Sally-Anne. So I've been working at the university for a whole 9 long years. I've actually studied here as well. I did business management at undergraduate level, and I've been working in the international office now for 3 years. So it's a really great environment to study and work in, with lots of different activities around the area to enjoy as well. So I'll pass you to Sally-Anne.
Like Sally, I've actually been at the university a long time. I've been here nearly 16 years now, and I also studied here. I completed my MBA 8 years ago, and it was a great course. Again, great opportunities, great members of staff, and it really, really sets you well in the field of employment. You learn so much at the university. I've been working in international for the 15 years, working in different parts of the world, mainly in South Asia, in India, Pakistan, Bangladesh. But in the last 2 years, I've moved over to the Middle East, which I'm enjoying really a lot.
Okay, shall we go to some questions? We have a question from Mohammed Salim. Any courses for English at the university before a master's, and what about scholarships?
Hi, Mohammed. We've actually got a Centre for International English that can help you with pre-sessional programs before the start of the master's course, as well as a bachelor's course. They run programs from 25 weeks down to 5 weeks, so the length of the course will depend upon your level of English. If you're coming for postgraduate study, you'd be looking for an Ielts score of 6.5 overall. So if you just need to raise your English level by 0.5 of a band, you would do the 5-week course. For one band, it would be the 10-week course, all the way down to a 25-week course, which is for people with an Ielts score of 4. Costs of the course vary depending on the length, but the 5-week course is currently £1,675. We have scholarships available for students, scholarships of up to £1,500 for undergraduate students and up to £2,000 for postgraduate students, No scholarships for the pre-sessional courses, but then any scholarships would be deducted for the tuition fee once you join your bachelor's or your master's program.
Okay, thanks, Sally-Anne. So hopefully that answers your question, Mohammed. Second question from Yummy. Is there employment opportunities within the Faculty of Event Management after graduation? So thank you for your question. Within our event management bachelor degree, we have opportunities for students to participate in internships and work placements, and sometimes students often look for a year out where they will go into industry for a year. So there are lots of opportunities for you, and obviously the more you can participate in these opportunities and get yourself networking within the industry and making contacts, then obviously your chances of getting employment after you graduate are going to be higher. So hopefully once you graduate, you're going to have employers queuing up waiting to interview you, because you will have hopefully done a really good job in your internship or placement year, and they'll want to employ you after you've graduated. I think the same question from Yummy is talking about you want to learn about USW, you have some trouble about finance. So during your study process, what can you do to get a scholarship except for the first scholarship? Okay, so you mentioned you're from Vietnam, and as an undergraduate student from Vietnam, you're actually entitled to what's called our Chancellor's International Development Scholarship. So as Sally-Anne mentioned before, usually undergraduate students will have £1,500 per year towards their undergraduate study, but students from Vietnam are lucky in the fact that they will get a scholarship of £2,500 per year. So this gets taken off your tuition fee for every year that you study with us at undergraduate level. So effectively you get this for 3 years. Unfortunately, we don't have any other additional scholarship other than that £2,500 for you at the undergraduate level. But it is worth noting that actually the living costs within South Wales are very inexpensive when you compare it to other cities within the UK. You would expect to pay roughly between about £600 and £700 per month, obviously depending on your lifestyle, but that would include on-campus accommodation, your food, your laundry, your books, and what we call your moderate socialising. So that's something to bear in mind as well, because it is a lot lower cost of living compared to other universities. Anything to add there?
I think, Yemi, it's always worth contacting your local British Council as well to see if they've got any information about in-country scholarships that might be available.
Yeah, thank you. So how many students do we have on event management from how many different countries? Or how many have got jobs in other countries?
I don't know, actually. I think, Yemi, that's a question we'd have to go back to the faculty and ask the careers advisors as well, and also the alumni office, because they often keep in touch with former students to find out what they're doing after they've completed their courses. So that's certainly something we can find out and let you know at a later date.
It's also worth mentioning, Yemi, that we have a 95% employment rate at the University of South Wales. So that's really high. And again, the reason that this number is so high is because we work really hard with our students and with employers and industry in the local area to try and engage our students with these industries. So by doing that, your employment prospects are going to be increased. So that's why we have a 95% employment rate. Okay. So do we have centres such as foreign language, music, health, skills and market or mini supermarket? Yes, we do.
There's actually lots on campus. I moved up to the Pontypridd campus nearly 2 years ago from the campus in Newport city centre, and I was amazed at the amount of facilities that are on this campus. There are bookshops, there's a general store run by the student union, there's even a hairdresser's on campus. So there is really everything in the area that you could need. But then on your doorstep as well, you've got the cities of Cardiff and Newport that have got lots of facilities as well. You've got sports centres, you can watch international teams play, you've got lots of access to the arts as well, so you can have concerts, theatres are available. Everything is here that you could need.
Yeah, there's so much to do. There's the Wales Millennium Centre where we have lots of theatre productions. So you probably hear about all the theatre productions that happen in London, and then they eventually come down to Cardiff as well. So the opportunity is for you there to go and see some of the big shows that are happening in London, but easily in Cardiff. And one of the big things that students seem to like on the Treforest campus is the recently new Starbucks coffee shop, which seems to always be popular. So that's something that our students really like as well. Okay, the next question, how can you find part-time jobs easily and how much an hour? Part-time jobs are available. Obviously, being so close to Cardiff city centre and Newport city centre means that you have access to a lot more job opportunities than you would perhaps in this local area. So it's easy for you to commute to Cardiff and Newport. But saying that, we also employ students to work for us at the university. So, for example, you might be interested in becoming a student ambassador. If you were to do that, we would ask you to help us out at events such as open days. Perhaps you might be giving an accommodation tour or showing people where to park their cars. So we would pay you for your time while you were doing that for us. The the hourly wage that you could expect. So in the UK, we have what's called a national minimum wage. And for anybody that's over 18 or 21, I can't remember exactly, but you would expect to receive around £6.30 an hour as a minimum wage. So obviously some employers might pay you more, but by law you would have to be paid a national minimum wage of £6.30 approximately for your time performing that job.
There's lots of flexible working available as well. So we have lots of things like 24-hour supermarkets where sometimes students will work night shifts over the weekend, evening shifts. So there's lots of opportunity to find work that can actually fit in with your studies as well.
Okay. So the next question from Yummy again. So you've got a lot of questions, which is good. So when you study at the university, your parents are going to be visiting you and you're asking, can they live in your room at that time? We have on-campus accommodation. So in the room, you get obviously your bedroom, you get an ensuite bathroom as well, and then there'll be a shared kitchen. And some students have their parents coming with them to help them settle in. So there is an opportunity for a parent to stay in the room. You would just need to make sure that it was okay with the accommodation office. And obviously, it's not going to be long term. They are single occupancy rooms, the majority of them. So you can have your parents stay with you for the first few days just to help you settle in. But a lot of students actually use the local hotels and bed and breakfasts in the local area, just so that they're not so cramped in that one person bedroom. But it's down to your preference. Obviously, it is cheaper. Sometimes, if there are rooms available, parents actually rent a room out for a couple of weeks on campus accommodation. So there's that opportunity as well, but it is all down to what is available at the time. Okay, tuition fees. So will tuition fees not change throughout the 3 years of study? I think they're fixed, aren't they?
They're fixed for the 3 years of study. So you'll be able to budget for all your tuition fees. And as Sally was saying, if you're looking for part-time work, you'll know exactly how much you'd be able to earn each week and each month. So it should give you a good idea about how much it's going to cost over the duration of the course.
Okay, so except for tuition fees, living costs and insurance fees, what kind of fee may I also be charged again? There aren't any other fees really that the university would charge. There are no exam fees, and that's all included within your tuition fees.
It is really only your general living costs, and only you will know how much those are going to be. That depends on your lifestyle, the type of accommodation you choose, but most of your costs you'll be able to work out before you arrive at the university. So there'll be no nasty shocks when you turn up.
The other thing that you may want to consider is what wouldn't be included would be things like sports activities. For example, if you joined the gym, there is a small membership fee to pay. So that wouldn't be included in your tuition fees, obviously. And the sports centre also offers different activities like surfing lessons, kayaking, canoeing, rock climbing, as well as different exercise classes like Zumba and body balance. So all of these things are available for our students, but you would be expected to pay just a small fee to participate, so that wouldn't be included. Okay, so next question from Christine. She'd like to know if the university will help you to find a part-time job. So we have a job shop and we have a careers service as well. So you're more than, you can go in and have a chat with them, and we have job shops as well. So employers actually contact us to see if our students are available to have interviews and see if they're suitable for jobs that they're offering. So we do have lots of different prospects available for our students, because obviously it's important that not only you're getting your education, but the whole point of you getting your education is we want you to get your dream job at the end of it as well.
We'll also help you as well with the skills that you need to actually apply for the job and go through the interview process. So there'll be help with filling in application forms, writing a CV, actually how to present yourself at interview and the type of questions that employers may ask you. So it will give you practice really about how you can best present yourself to your future employer. So there's lots of help available.
Yeah. Okay, so Yami is saying thank you very much for answering all her questions. So you're very welcome, and we really do hope that we're going to see you here in September, Yami. It would be great to have some more Vietnamese students here. The ones that we have at the moment are thoroughly enjoying themselves. So thank you. Okay. So
we've got another question. I'm afraid I'm not able to read Arabic, so I can't actually say the name of this person, but they're asking, they want to know if they can study English after all. Well, all the English programs that we do, they're what we call pre-sessional programs. So they're programs that will raise your English level to the required standard for you to join either bachelor's or master's programs during your time at the university. So for undergraduate programs, you'd be at a level of Ielts 6, and for postgraduate programs, it would be a level of 6.5. So you would join the appropriate pre-sessional program depending on your Ielts score. The programs, they start either in spring, summer for a September intake, or we've also got courses that start in late summer, October time for students who are looking to start programs of study in February.
Okay, so we haven't got any more questions. So what we can do is we can give you an overview of the facilities that are here at the university. And a little bit about us. So the University of South Wales is the biggest university in Wales. We have over 33,000 students, and of those 33,000 students, we actually have 4,500 international students from countries all over the world. So as an international student, what that means for you is that you are guaranteed to get that British experience, because you're going to be integrated with students not only from the UK but from Europe as well, and other international countries. So that's really important for you when it comes to networking and mingling with other cultures and nationalities, and learning from those people as well. We have 3 different campuses,
and they're all quite different campuses as well. We've got the main campus in Pontypridd, which is where Sally and I are sitting at the moment, which is just north of Cardiff. So it's about 20 minutes by train, is it? From Cardiff, from the centre of Cardiff. So that's very accessible.
And the train station is just 2 minutes
outside, so
just 2 minutes walk away.
So it's an easy walk. We've also got a campus in Cardiff city centre, which is predominantly for arts, media, design programs. We've also, in that campus, we do programs, some finance courses as well, which is just adjacent to that campus. And then we have the city campus in Newport. So Newport is a smaller city than Cardiff, but only 10 minutes by train from Cardiff city centre. And they mainly teach business and education courses. And there's a few art and design programs there. But they're all quite unique campuses. But students in every campus, they're always very, very happy with their surroundings.
And what you'll find is once you're on your campus, there is usually no need for you to have to travel in between campuses. Obviously you can if you want to, but there's no problems with you having to worry about logistically how you're going to get from one campus to the other, because all of your classes will be on that one campus, so it's very easy for you.
And it's very easy to live close to the campus as well. On the Pontypridd campus, we've actually got university-owned accommodation. So you can literally roll out of bed and within 5 minutes be sitting in your classroom. And then in the Cardiff and Newport campuses, there are independently owned student accommodation blocks adjacent to both campuses, where you can live with other students. And again, it's a short and safe walk to the campus.
Okay. So we have a question from Mohammed. So for BSc Engineering in Aircraft Maintenance, where will be the place for your on-the-job training? Okay, so if I just start from the beginning with aircraft maintenance engineering, for those of you that aren't too familiar. So we have an aerospace centre here at the university, and actually we're extending it right now, ready for our intake in September, because we are so popular for aircraft maintenance engineering. So we've had to actually extend the facilities to accommodate all of our students. So we're investing multi-million pounds into this project. So it's going to have bigger and better facilities and state-of-the-art facilities for you to enjoy as well. The University of South Wales has a partnership with British Airways. So for the students that come into year one of our BSc Aircraft Maintenance Engineering programme, they have the option to not only complete their degree, but also their YASA modules as well. So that's integrated into the programme. And for the students who actually have at least a 90% attendance record within their degree programme, but also have certain marks in their modules, they are actually eligible to participate in British Airways training throughout the summer of year 2 and the summer of year 3. So over those 2 summers, you'll actually complete 2,400 hours of on-the-job training with British Airways. So you'll get the same training that the British Airways staff get as well. But what this means for you is that once you've completed your degree, and you've obviously completed your YASA modules as well, if you complete this on-the-job training with British Airways, you will be entitled to an accelerated license. So what that means is, rather than having to wait 5 years to get your license, you only need to wait a further 2 years, because you will have completed your 2,400 hours of on-the-job training. For the students that don't get the attendance rate of at least 90%, or perhaps their marks drop down for one of their modules, so they're not eligible for that on-the-job training, that does not affect your degree, and it doesn't affect your YASA modules either. You still graduate with your honours degree, or also your YASA modules. But what it means is that actually you just aren't entitled to the British Airways training. So you would need to wait a further 5 years to get your work experience before your license is renewed. So the British Airways training, going back to Mohammed's question about where will it be, there's 3 different sites. We have a British Airways hangar at the airport in Cardiff, so it's literally no more than 30 minutes away. We also have one in London, and we have one up in Scotland as well. So what we would do is, obviously we try and match you up to the venue or the location really that is most suitable for you. So if you've got family living in London, you might fancy going to London for the summer, or perhaps you prefer to stay around the Cardiff area, which is very close. So that's what we're very well known for, is aircraft maintenance engineering. I don't know if you've got anything to add to
You're
that.
the expert on aircraft maintenance engineering, so I'm glad you answered that question.
I cover Malaysia, so a lot of our Malaysian students actually come to the University of South Wales from Nilai and Miat, and we're having some inquiries from Admiral Aviation College as well. So a lot of our students do come from Malaysia for aircraft maintenance engineering, so we're very renowned for it out in Malaysia. So hopefully that answers your question, Mohammed. Thank you very much.
We've got Christine back asking about how much is it going to cost for the International Welcome Programme? Is the International Welcome Programme part of the Freshers Week? And if you travel to Cardiff on the 8th of September, is there any transportation available? The International Welcome Programme is separate from the Freshers Week. It's an opportunity for you to settle in, make friends, meet new people, and generally relax before the start of your university life. It's a free programme, and there may be small charges for certain parts of the programme. For example, if there was a coach trip somewhere, there may be a small charge of up to £5. But apart from that, everything that's actually happening on campus would be free. So it's a good chance to meet new people, meet people from courses that you wouldn't necessarily meet, from countries you've never been to before, and to have friends from all over the world. You'll also get to try new things. I think in the February Fresher Welcome Programme, they were doing drumming and singing to drums or something. So it's a chance for you to do something you've never done before, chance to look silly, but chance to enjoy yourself. With part of the Welcome Programme as well, they're able to arrange pickups from airports. So if you travel into Heathrow or into Cardiff Airport, you can complete a pickup request form no less than 5 days before you're due to arrive. And then we can make arrangements for you to be met at the airport and transported back to the university campus.
If you arrive into Cardiff Airport, we'll actually pick you up free of charge in a taxi and drop you directly to your accommodation. So that's really good. Cardiff Airport, it's 30 minutes away, so it's really convenient. If you were to come into Heathrow Airport, there's buses that leave every day, all day, from Heathrow to Cardiff, and it would take you approximately about 3 hours.
It's about 3.5 hours to get to Cardiff, and then you can easily get a taxi then to the Pontypridd campus, to the accommodation here, or to the accommodation in Cardiff. If you were studying and living in the Newport City campus, the National Express coaches, they will stop in Newport as well.
And just going back to Freshers Week, if you can come for Freshers Week, it really is worthwhile doing it, because I think we had over 300 students enroll in September on Freshers Week. So it's a really fantastic opportunity for you to make new friends, participate in different activities. So we'll take you out for dinner, we take you on treasure hunts. So it's a nice way for you to get to know the local area and make really good friends, and friends hopefully that are going to be your friends for the rest of your life. But when it comes to that Monday morning of enrolment week, it's not so daunting for you, because you will have already made so many friends, and you'll be starting to feel hopefully a little bit more at home by coming that week earlier and settling in.
And I think that really will help you as well. When you speak to the students at the end of the course, they're always really pleased they came that week early to join the International Welcome Week, because as Sally said, it helps them to settle in, and then it's not daunting when you're sitting in a classroom with people you don't know, because you've made friends outside from different classes and from different nationalities as well.
So make sure you come early. Thank you, Christine. We have another question from Mohammed. So how much is the cost of living in Cardiff, including accommodation, per month? So it depends, Mohammed, if you're living in accommodation owned or managed by the university, or whether you're living in a shared house. There are the different prices depending on where you live. So, for example, if you were living in Cardiff in halls of residence, then I think it's £111.50 per week. So that would include your water, your electric, and you would have free Wi-Fi as well. If you were living off campus in a shared house, so for example, there may be 4 or 5 of you in a house, you get your own bedroom, but you would share usually a bathroom and the kitchen and a living area as well. But in Cardiff, I think you would expect to pay about £60 a week, 60, 70.
Yeah. It's usually a cheaper option if you're in a shared house like that. But bear in mind, the rooms can be smaller and you may have to work out the costs of your utilities. So just always check that things like your water, your gas and electricity are included.
So if you were looking at a total monthly cost, then Cardiff, like I said, is a lower cost area of living when you compare it to somewhere like London. But for your accommodation, your living costs such as food, food, laundry, books, and your moderate socialising, you would expect to pay no more than £700 a month.
That should be enough.
700 should be absolutely fine, unless you've got a ridiculous shoe habit. Then you would need obviously a bit more. But if you're sensible, then you can definitely manage more than easily on £700 a month. And what you probably have heard other students saying about is actually being a student, you get a lot of discounts as well. So especially in the first 2 to 4 weeks of term, so in September, October, all the high street shops will have discounts, and they'll be encouraging the students to come in and giving you 10-20% off purchases, and that can continue throughout the year as well. You can buy an NUS card, and I think it costs £10.
About £10, yeah.
£10 for this.
And that
NUS
will give you lots of discounts.
Yeah. You can buy this card and it will last you a year, and you can go to the cinema and get cheaper prices, and you can just go to some of the shops where they support the NUS card, and you can show them your card and you'll automatically get 10, 15 or 20% off whatever you buy. So you can get some good deals as well. Okay. So thank you, Mohammed. We haven't got any more questions yet.
I mean, perhaps some of you are wondering, there's lots of universities you could choose from. Why would you want to come to the University of South Wales? I mean, I hope Sally especially has really persuaded you so that you know the sort of type of institution we are. We're the type of university that welcomes students and wants to help you from before your application right till after you leave the university. We want you to be part of us always.
And having studied here, both of us studied here before, I can say hand on heart, you know, I've had an amazing student experience here. I was a bit shy in class, and sometimes you don't want to put your hand up and ask a question. So what the students are often encouraged to do is obviously don't be shy, just ask the question, because if you're wondering about that question, then probably 9 out of 10 people in your classroom are also wondering about that question. But if you do have a bit of shyness, or perhaps you want to talk to your lecturer privately, then their office doors are always open. There are so many times that I went and knocked on their door after a lecture and went in and, you know, had a chat and a sit down with them. So they're there for you, not just in the lecture time, but also outside of lectures as well. The lecturers, we also have resident lecturers living on campus. So if you were to live on campus accommodation, you have the peace of mind knowing that there is going to be somebody of responsible, you know, that has responsibility available for you to contact should you need to any time of the day, 365 days of the year. So we have a number of lecturers actually living on campus, and they're there to help the students whenever they need that help. things like Christmas as well. So a lot of our students actually don't go home for Christmas. The university will close over the Christmas holiday, but we don't want you to be here on your own. So there are activities planned for you throughout the Christmas holidays as well, and you'll have a dinner with everybody that registers for the dinner on Christmas Day. So we really do make you feel part of the university and want you to feel welcome and looked after, and we really do pride ourselves on that.
And there are lots of specialist areas in the university to support you as well. We've got the career service that can help you. We've got the International Immigration and Advice Centre, which is there for everything that is specific to international students. So anything you think of that isn't covered by other parts of the university, they will be able to help you. And it's not just problems that they fix. They continually helping students, entertaining students, organising events throughout the year. So if you were to join the International Welcome Week, you'll find that the activities don't stop as soon as the Welcome Week is over. It's continuous. So they'll do trips to Stonehenge, they'll do trips to Oxford, they'll do trips to Bath, to go shopping before Christmas. There's lots and lots of things going on. So even if you miss one trip because you're too busy, there's always something else in a couple of weeks that you can join.
I think it's important to mention as well, given that we've invited students from Asia and the Middle East, for our Muslim students, it's really easy for you to get halal food here as well. So some of the foods that we offer on campus in our restaurants are halal, so it is definitely worth going up there and checking out what they've got available. But also in Cardiff, there's a big Muslim community in Cardiff as well, so it's really easy for our students to go and buy halal food in Cardiff and then bring it back to their rooms to cook for themselves. And we also have prayer rooms available on campus as well, should you need those. So we have lots of different facilities to help you obviously carry on with your normal everyday activities. Okay. So transportation, we've touched on it briefly, but the train station from the Treforest campus is only a 2-minute walk away, and from Newport,
it's about a 5 minutes walk from the train station to the campus. The trains are on a direct route to London, so from London Paddington to Newport takes about 1 hour 40 minutes, and then to Cardiff it's about 2 hours. Yeah. And then, as we said, Cardiff to Pontypridd is about 20 minutes. But from the Cardiff station and from Newport station, you can actually travel to any part of the country quite easily. Yeah. So you can go Birmingham, Manchester, up to Scotland. There's lots of links. It's a very well situated university.
And the transport links are amazing. You've got trains running every 15 or so minutes. You've got buses also in the area outside the campus. So it's not necessary for you to have a car. Some of our students do, but it is quite expensive to run a car in the UK. So you've got the benefit of having really cheap commutes in and out of the city should you need it. As an international student, you can actually hire a car if you want to. Obviously, you need to organise insurance and that kind of thing. But a lot of our students do hire cars and they go on road trips up to Scotland. And I had one of my Malaysian students actually who hired a mini van, and him and his friends, they drove up to Scotland a couple of Januaries ago and they went skiing. So there's lots of different things for you to do if you want to hire a car or just use the public transport.
But don't forget all the beautiful scenery and historic landscape actually on your doorstep. Wales was actually voted one of the best countries in the world to visit by the Rough Guides in 2014. We've got beautiful beaches, fantastic mountain scenery. We've got the highest mountain in Wales is in the north of the country. We've got beach surfing. There's lots and lots of beautiful things to do. And if you like castles and you like history, Wales is full of it.
We have more castles per square mile than anywhere else in the world. We have a question. Can you apply to USW as a freshman in Vietnam? So yeah, that's not a problem. You can apply directly to the university from your home country. You've got two options. You can apply directly via our website. Alternatively, you can contact one of our in-country reps who will help you with your application. There's no application fee, no matter which option you choose. So if you wanted to apply directly yourself, you would just go to our homepage, which is www.southwales.ac.uk. And then at the top of the screen, you'll see International. So click on International, and then you'll see on the left-hand side a button that says Apply. So you just click Apply, and then you follow the steps, and it's all online, and you can upload your documents. So what we will need to see from you is one reference. We will also need to see your statement of purpose. So that will be a little bit about yourself, who you are, where you're from, what you're studying, why are you interested in the UK, why South Wales, why have you chosen your particular course, perhaps any experience that you've got, and then finally, what do you hope to do once you've graduated? We would also need your transcripts and certificates if they're available, and if you have an Ielts certificate, then you need to submit that as well. If you don't have one yet, you can make your application without it. That's not a problem. But it's all online. You submit your application, and then we'll be in touch with you shortly afterwards to give you the decision on whether or not we're able to offer you a place. If you want to, if you want to apply through an agent, it's very similar. You just literally hand them your documents, and they will do all the hard work for you. And they usually don't charge for their services either. And it's quite often a very good idea to apply through an agent if you're a little bit unsure of the process, especially for applying for a visa. It can be quite complicated sometimes.
I was just going to add, when Sally mentioned your statement of purpose, don't be afraid of writing this. It's your opportunity really to actually talk to us and tell us about yourself, what you want to do, what your aspirations are. So don't be scared, just write how you feel, and perhaps let us know why you want to do the particular course of study. The other thing I wanted to mention is if you want to study for an art, media, design program in our Faculty of Creative Industries, you will need to submit a portfolio. So that's going to be examples of the work that you've done already. It doesn't have to be completed work. It can be ideas of how you might want to develop something once you have access to the right equipment and the right materials. But we have lots of information available about how we can help you to put together your portfolio and the type of things that the academic leaders are looking for. So don't hesitate to contact us if you need any advice about that.
Just briefly going back to the application process, Mohammed's asked a question about, is an Ielts certificate a must? It's not for our undergraduate and postgraduate courses. So if you're applying for a bachelor or a master's degree, and you have, for example, you're from Malaysia and you have the 1119 certificate and you have a grade C6 or higher, or perhaps you've done IGCSE or GCSE or O levels and you have that English language grade C6 or higher, then there is no need for you to do an Ielts test because we can accept that in lieu of the Ielts. If you're applying for a foundation year, an international foundation year, unfortunately, we can't accept the SPM or the 1119, the IGCSE or the O levels, because it's undergraduate level. But if it's undergraduate level or higher, then you can submit those documents.
And it's the same for a pre-sessional English course. To join a pre-sessional, you have to have an Ielts score, which would enter you onto the particular pre-sessional programs. Anything else at the moment, I'm afraid, isn't acceptable.
If you think that your level of English is around a 6, you make your application for an undergraduate or a postgraduate program, but you haven't done an IELTS, what you can do is you can contact the country representative, so myself for Southeast Asia, Sally-Anne for the Middle East, and what we can do is we can organise for you to take the free university English test in your home country at one of our trusted agents' offices. So if you did this test and you got at least 6 overall with at least 5.5 in each of the components, there would be no need for you to take an additional IELTS test. So the benefit of that is obviously it's free, so it saves you money, but also it's good that you can do it in your own home country as well. Anything else on that?
No, I think that's it. So Mohammed's actually asked another question of how much does it cost for transportation? For example, a train from Pontypridd to London. The cost of transportation varies. You find that there are different fares depending on the time of day that you travel. So if you avoid the rush hours, avoid the peak hours, never travel between London and any city from about 6 o'clock in the morning till 9:30 in the morning, and it's the same from 4 o'clock till 7 o'clock in the evening. If you book ahead as well, you can get some good rates for the train to be able to go back and forth from London. Similarly with buses, again, if you book in advance, you can get some good rates. There's also the mega bus, which stops at Cardiff and Newport, and you can get to London from £1, isn't it? If you book it in advance, £1 plus 50 pence booking fee. So it's good value if you're prepared to be up really, really early in the morning to actually catch the bus and also book in advance. Mohammed's also asked if we have any snow in Wales. We do, occasionally in the winter. It's very, very rare though that we have heavy snow that sort of stops the roads, stops the trains. Quite often we see a nice fluttering of snow in winter. We all get excited and then it's gone again the next day.
We haven't had that much this year,
no.
This winter. A few flakes, but a couple of years ago we did have quite a lot of snow, and we actually had to close the university for a couple of days because we had so much snow that staff couldn't make it to work. But that doesn't happen very often. But then if you're into outdoor activities and you drive up towards the mountains, 40 minutes up the road, and you've got these beautiful mountains, you find that you go there and there'll be so many families up there with their sacks to go down the hills on, or maybe their sledges. So it's really good fun.
Or building snowmen.
Or building snowmen, yeah. Okay, so Christine, hello again. Do you have to pay any additional fees to join the club and society, e.g. snow sports?
Everybody's really interested in snow.
Yeah. For example, if you wanted to go kayaking or surfing, there would be a charge for that activity. I know there's one. I was in the gym this morning actually, and I saw a poster for some surfing lessons this weekend, and I think it was 25 or 30 pounds, and that would include your transportation down to the beach, hiring the surfboard and the wetsuit, and actually having the lessons as well. So they're very competitively priced. Snow sport, I know we have a snowboard society or a skiing society, and there would be some additional costs involved in that, because obviously you've got all the equipment to buy, and you've got to get to whichever country you're going to do the skiing or the snowboarding. So there would be some additional costs. But I'm guessing if you're joining a snow society, snowboarding society, you're going to be probably pretty kitted up with all the gear anyway.
There are dry ski slopes in the area as well that you are able to hire equipment. So if you haven't tried anything before, you think you would like to give skiing a go, but before you spend lots of money on equipment or traveling to the ski resorts in Europe, you can actually try on a dry ski slope. So there's a few of those in the local area as well.
And one of the things also in Cardiff area is we have a whitewater rafting centre as well. So you can go and you can do kayaking or whitewater rafting on these rapids. So that's quite popular between our students as well. So there's lots of different outdoor activities. Okay, so thank you, Christine. Okay.
So we've actually got a number of different faculties in the university with lots of different subject areas you can study. So we have the Faculty of Business and Society, where you've got lots of undergraduate, postgraduate business programs, law programs. They also cover humanities programs as well, such as history, English, are all in this faculty. We've got the Faculty of Computing, Engineering and Sciences. So as well as computing, different types of engineering, such as mechanical, electrical, civil engineering, fire safety engineering. We've also got the science subjects as well in the faculty. So there's chemistry, biology as well. So different types of areas that you can study. Faculty of Creative Industries is based in Cardiff, which has got lots of links with media industry. So there's lots of opportunities for placements for students who are doing journalism, film production, graphic design, photography, performing arts, drama, everything you can think of in that area is taught at that faculty. And then there's also the Faculty of Life Sciences and Education. So we have nursing programs, criminology, forensic sciences, and education. So we do lots of work with teacher training and special education needs. So you find lots of subject areas are covered in the university. So there's something for everybody.
We have another question from Amani. Amani is asking, how can they get a scholarship if they're interested in mechanical engineering? So basically, if our international students, if you're self-funded, so that means that you're not sponsored by the government or an employer, the university will be able to offer you an automatic scholarship per year that you're studying with us. So there is no additional application form. When you complete your application to apply to study with us, one of the questions we ask you is who will pay your fees. And depending on how you answer that question will determine whether or not we issue your scholarship on your offer letter or not. So for example, you tick the box that says myself or my family are going to be paying your fees. We know that we need to offer you that scholarship on your offer letter. So your fees will be listed, the total fees before scholarship, and then underneath will be the scholarship amount, and then underneath that will be the amount that you need to pay after the scholarship has been deducted. So it's very easy, very simple. And then once you've got your offer letter, and it's an unconditional offer letter, so you've met all your conditions, you'll be invited then to pay at least a 50% deposit. If you are a sponsored student, we don't actually ask for any money from you because we will ask you for your financial guarantee letter. So once we've got that, that's when we issue you with your CAS so that you can apply for your visa.
And with the scholarships as well, they're not subject specific. So Amani has asked about mechanical engineering, but you'd still be considered for the automatic scholarship if you were to study electrical engineering, aeronautical engineering, any course in nursing or the creative industries. It's not subject specific.
Okay, I think we've got probably 7 minutes left by the looks of it. So if you have any last minute questions, then we'd be delighted to hear from you before we sign off in 7 minutes. So paying deposits, this is a question that I get asked quite a lot. How do you pay your deposit and how much do you pay? So basically, when you get your unconditional offer letter, you'll be asked to pay at least a 50% deposit to secure your CAS, and your CAS is what you use to apply for your visa. If you decide to pay all of your first year tuition fees in full within 2 weeks of enrolling at the university, we will reward you with a £300 early payment discount. So we will take £300 off your first year fees if you pay your fees in full. If you don't want to do that, then there's different options available for you. So what you can do is pay 50% deposit. We give you your CAS, and then if you wanted to not pay the remaining balance for in one go, you don't have to. What you can do is you can contact our finance department, and we can organise for you to pay the remaining 50% either in 3 or 7 monthly instalments. So that gives you flexibility if you need that flexibility. And there's no interest charged. The only charge that we would apply is a one-off administration fee if you were to choose the 7-month option to pay 7 monthly instalments for that remaining 50%. So we actually reward the people that pay in full, but we don't actually discriminate against the people that don't pay in full, but we give them options and don't charge them much. Don't charge them extra apart from an admin fee to make it more flexible for our students.
One of the things I'd like to mention is sometimes you have students who can't automatically join a first year of a bachelor's course because they haven't done enough years of academic study in their home country. This is specific, especially you find this in the Middle East countries. What we do offer for these students is a foundation program, so you can come to the university for 1 year prior to joining the bachelor's program, and they will teach you basics. So the foundation will give you entry to business programs, law programs, humanities, engineering, and social sciences. And they will take students with an Ielts of 5 for the intensive English foundation program and Ielts 6 for the general foundation program. This gives students that extra year of study that they need to be able to join the bachelor's courses. So it's a really good way of actually improving your English, but getting used to academic study in the UK as well, which can be very different to perhaps where you've been studying previously. So to apply for the foundation programs, it's the same as if you're applying for an undergraduate or a postgraduate program. So go to the international pages on the website, click on the apply button, and once again, you'd be submitting all your documents to include a personal statement, copies of your high school diploma, your Ielts certificate, and a letter of reference from your most recent teacher or lecturer.
Easy as that. So we have 2 minutes left. So if you do have any last minute questions, please start typing them now. And then we'll be logging off. But hopefully we've been able to answer your questions for you. We have a last minute question coming in from Mohammed again. Hi again, Mohammed. Does that mean that the fee for the second year onwards is the same as our first year? Yes, it does. So if you're on an undergraduate program and say, for example, your first year fee is £10,300 after the scholarship has been applied, your fees for the second and the third year will remain at £10,300, so that you, as Sally-Anne mentioned earlier, you can budget for your study. There's no nasty surprises waiting for you.
If you do think of any questions later, go onto the website, look on your country pages, and you'll find the contact details for Sally and myself. So you can always drop us an email if you didn't want to ask a question online. You can also meet us when we're overseas. We always have details of our next events in country. So we're always visiting you, and we'd be happy to see you if you want to pop along.
We'll also be posting lots of useful links for you once we're offline. So you can always come back to this Google Hangout, watch it again and listen to the answers, perhaps sit down with your parents or your friends and go through it as well. And list any more questions that you've got as you go along. And then you can contact any one of us and we'll answer your questions. But like I said, we will be posting some useful links for you at the end of this session as well that will probably answer a lot of your questions. So
thank you very much.
Yes, thank you for joining us today. It's been a pleasure, and hopefully we'll get to meet you in country.
Thank you, Mohammed.
Yeah, thank you, Mohammed.
Hope to see you soon.
Thank you.